2016, you start the toy run.
Yeah.
Right? And you're working at the dealership, Salem Harley at the time.
Yep.
You just all of a sudden one day were like, there's nothing in Salem for a good toy run, and you're like, dude, let's do this kind of thing.
Well, it's kind of a loaded question. I'd been with the dealership for a while. You know, I worked for Harley-Davidson for 15, 16 years.
Okay.
And by that point, I'd gotten to a level where I was doing a lot of things that weren't like bike oriented, weren't really community oriented.
Right.
And I was kind of burned on it. I wanted to get back into the community. I wanted to start being a part of these events a little bit more. I wanted to start riding, and I just saw that as an opportunity to really get back involved, you know. And I knew it would be good for the dealership as well, so it was easy for me to like justify, you know, all right, I've got this thing that I'm really passionate about and I really want to do, because obviously like the easy answer is we're providing Christmas for kids.
Absolutely,
like, you know, that's easy to get behind. I'm very passionate about that. No kid should wake up on Christmas morning and
straight,
you know, not be visited by Santa Claus.
Right.
So that part of it was easy. And then it was easy for me to fold it into the business just because, as part of my job, just because it's the community, it's riding, it's, you know.
Everything we already do. So
yeah, exactly.
Why not do it for a good cause?
And it was stuff I wasn't doing enough of.
Right.
You know, that's what was really burning me out is I got into the industry because I love the bikes, I love the people, I love the sense of community, and I love what we're all trying to do, you know. So the toy run was just an easy one. It was a no-brainer for me once I thought about it.
Right. That's cool. That's cool. So you guys, so the way you do it, for people that have not been around, and correct me, you start in, what, a couple months before December, right? Mm-hmm. And then you guys have a tree at the dealership, at the Harley dealership, now Timbertown. And there's a tag on the tree with a kid's name and what they would like for Christmas, right? And then you can come in and get that tag, take it, shop for the present, bring it back to the dealership. And then I know I've been there, and you do the wrapping parties and stuff. It's so awesome. Like you said, the sense of community is just amazing. Yeah. That part's like my favorite. Well, besides seeing the smile on the kids' faces, that's fun going there and wrapping presents with everybody and just being around everybody, and then.
Yeah, and the way we structure it, I mean, a lot of people don't realize we have to do so much fundraising throughout the year. I'm actually working on it now. Wow. You know, I take a couple weeks off after the event's over in December, start working on a plan, and especially because this is the 10-year anniversary, I'm already working on a little bigger plan for more rides, more fundraising. So the Salem Toy Run actually puts on rides and bike nights and stuff like that through the summer, and that stuff's a lot of fun. Just get the community together, everybody hangs out. We just happen to be doing it for a good cause, you know.
I love it.
And then, about 2 or 3 months before the actual event, I figure out the budget based on how much money we've raised. More money we raise, more kids we can provide for.
That's awesome.
I get with the school district. They get the lists, you know, and it's needs and wants. We're called the Salem Toy Run, but the most common thing we get asked for is socks.
Really?
Yeah. We provide more socks than anything.
Wow.
Socks, underwear, and jackets. And this year, blankets. A lot of kids asked for blankets this year.
Wow, so it's kind of almost sad
well,
thinking about it in the big picture, man.
It is, and I've gone back through. Sometimes I'll even like post reading some of these wish lists, and some of these families are in such a tight spot that these little kids don't even know how to ask for like what they want. Like what they want, I consider a need.
Yeah,
you know, when a little kid is like shoes without holes as a want. Like, no, you should be asking for like a G.I. Joe or a car or whatever as a want. Yeah. That's a need. And a lot of them are in such a tough spot, they don't see it that way, you know?
Wow, that's sad. Huh.
Like I said, when I first started it, like, a lot of the reasons were for me.
Right.
And after that first year, I think the first year we covered like 12 or 14 kids, because I'm like, I don't know if this thing's going to take. I don't know if the community is going to get behind it. And I saw those wish lists and I saw those kids.
Right.
And it was like no going back for me. Like that was the mission.
That was chills just thinking about it.
That was everything. The first year that I got a chance to really interact and see how hard some of these families have it,
right,
and what they're trying to work through. And I mean, they're all across the board, you know, just as far as what their challenges are, what they're up against. I don't know, it's crazy. Like I said, there's no going back after that.
Good on you, man. I just look up to you. At the day we met, every single day, I'm just like, dude, what you're doing, just everything else you do blows my mind. But with that, it's just like, bravo, man. That's badass.
I appreciate it. And I've always said that event, it's for the community, by the community.
Right.
You know, people like you that come out and help us. Like you said, man, you don't wrap gifts, but you run gifts and you help everybody.
Yep.
You know,
yep.
I'm the same way.
I suck at rapping.
Like, so do I.
Yeah.
So about every year I wrap like 2 gifts.
Right.
And that's it. And it's usually like last minute, night
Right.
before I got to have this done. I don't rap. It's
You
horrible.
do plenty. You do plenty, bro. You do plenty.
But no, it's nothing can happen without the community getting behind it.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
and I've been really fortunate that we've been able to keep that community or that event going, and the community has really resonated with it, and it just it keeps driving, and every year I feel better and better about it.
Awesome. Well, yeah. We need to talk off camera. I want to help more. We'll talk off camera. We'll come up with something.
10-year anniversary. This
Yes,
is a good year to help,
I like that. I like that. Okay, so let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's find out who Mark is here.
All right.
Been riding motorcycles all your life?
You know, I have. My dad was a rider.
Okay.
So that's where where I first got bit. When I was 5, my dad brings home this Harley. It's an 81 shovel head, you know.
No way. That's badass.
My Sturgis
That's
is an
right.
81.
You have an 81.
Yeah.
We both have 81s. That's
so
right.
he rolls up. He's got this new Harley, and, you know, it's the 80s, so things are a little different.
Right.
I would ride on the gas tank in front of him. I'd put one foot on the air cleaner and then just let the other leg hang over.
way.
And then my brother would ride on the back. And I don't mean like just a one-time deal we did that. Like, that was every time we got on that thing.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
dude.
my God. That's
So
awesome.
that's when it got into me was like when I'm 5, like I'm rolling on my dad's Harley and having the time of my life, dude. I'm holding on to the Speedo for dear life. Like that's my handle.
Yeah.
And, you know, I loved it. Anytime he went anywhere, I tried to go with him.
Right.
And like if my brother couldn't make it, then I got to ride on a seat. Like that
No
was
shit. Oh, yeah.
that's living. And
rad.
you know, my dad was way into it. He loved it.
Right.
We liked to ride. Like I was always the hero in my elementary school when he'd roll up and pick me up.
Dude, that's like every kid's dream, dude.
Yeah.
Be dropped off by your dad on a Harley. Come on.
Yeah. So like 5 years old, I just got bit, and then he ended up having to sell it, and you know, so we didn't ride for a long time in there. We got into sports, hunting, like everything else,
Right.
and then when I was like 16 or 17, the bug never fully went away. Like I have first day of school pics in the 4th, 5th grade, and I'm wearing like a Harley shirt.
Yes.
You
Hell
know,
yeah.
and, the bug never fully went away, but when I was about 16, starting to drive, starting to get independent, and
Right.
like I got bit hard. I wanted a Harley more than anything, and that's when I first became like a little hustler, dude. I was like, okay, I can't get a loan.
Right.
Because that was the deal. My dad was like, yeah, you can get a motorcycle if you pay for it.
And you're like, all right, game
So
on.
I'm like, okay, I know you think that's going to keep me from getting a
Yeah,
bike,
no
but here
way.
we go.
No way.
So yeah, dude, I begged, borrowed, stole, like anything I could do to get some money in the
yeah.
bank to buy a bike. And then finally, I think I was about 20 when I finally got my first bike, my Sturgis.
Real?
Yeah.
That's the bike you've had
Yeah.
that bike this whole time?
Yeah, I got that bike when I was 20 years old.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, so it took me like 4 years, but I paid cash for that bike.
No
and
shit.
yeah, it's a funny story. So I had this money, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. Because that was the other thing. My dad was like, he's a Harley dude. Like
Right.
he's a Harley man. So he's like, you're going to get enough money to buy like a smaller bike, but I'm not going to let you do that either. Like you'll regret that forever.
Okay.
So you got to wait until you get like the bike.
Right.
So it's like a big twin Harley.
Yeah,
At
yeah,
that
yeah. You're
time,
not getting no sports
yeah,
steer.
late 90s, like that's the bike. So I was working at this gym for like a summer job, and I'm never late. I'm like, you got to be on. Like I always tell people, the easiest part of any job is showing up. The
Right.
second easiest part's being on time. So I'm late to work this one day, and I'm freaking out, and I'm like in this giant hurry, and I go through this parking lot, and there's this blue bike on a trailer with a for sale sign.
No way.
Yeah. But again, I'm like, oh, I got to get to work. So I haul ass to work, and lunch break rolls around, and I like sprinted to that parking lot. Like I'd been thinking about it all morning.
Right.
And yeah, it's this 81 shovel that's
You're
like in my
shitting
price range, like right there.
No
And
way.
yeah, so that's how I ended up with my Sturgis.
That is insane.
Yeah, called the dude right then after work, went and bought it.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Hell yes. That is. So where is this? You are originally from Colorado?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is all in Colorado
Yeah.
where this is?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're just out of high school, got your first Harley, dude.
Yeah.
Where do we go from there? Did you do college? Did you do?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So I ended up in college, and I went to this really small town, school in this really small town called Western State College in Gunnison, Colorado. And it's like a little ski town, kind of.
Okay.
And it's right by Crested Butte Ski Resort. So there's like 4,000 people total in this town, really small
Right.
town. And I'm the dude with the Harley.
Like you're the dude.
Everybody knows me because I'm the guy that rides
Here
the
comes
Harley.
Mark.
Yeah, like I'm the guy in town that has a Harley. And
Right.
I'm like 20 years old, and that was where like really it all started for me because this is pre-social media. So
Right.
obviously like there's no such thing as influencers. Like I'm going down and buying Easy Riders and magazines were my whole lifeline.
Right.
And when I look back on it, like the bad thing is I didn't have anybody to ride with. I didn't know anybody, especially at that time because Harleys were still like prestige. Most of the people I knew that even rode were like 30 years older than me. And, you know, they didn't want to ride with some kid on his 4-speed. They're all riding like Evos and, you know, Jaggers and stuff like that. And I didn't have anybody to ride with, so I'd just get on and ride.
Just ride.
And everywhere. Dude, I took that thing to the grocery store. I took it to the doctor. Anytime I could get on my bike,
whatever
I
you
rode.
could strap to it, you took with you.
I remember one time I was riding back. I lived about 120 miles from where my dad was at, and I was riding back to his house this one weekend, and I got up at like 6 in the morning, not even thinking Colorado. And it's like June, so I'm like, all right, this will be fine. And I got like 30 miles out of town, and I was so cold. I had to like stop and wrap my hands around the pipe and the motor and everything. Because again, I'm just this idiot that doesn't know anything. So I'm wearing a jacket and like light gloves.
Riding.
Yeah, I was just pumped for the ride. And
It's so awesome.
yeah, so, you know, I would do that ride all the time. And again, you never realize how great things are. There'd be days that I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to go back to my hometown and see what my friends are up to.
Right.
Jump on, and it's like this 120-mile ride through all these Colorado windy highways. This Highway 50 that goes from Gunnison to Montrose, Colorado. It's some of the most beautiful riding in the country. And I would just do it just for the hell of it on a weekend.
I love that. I love that. And there ain't nothing like doing that on a 4-speed.
No.
On a shovel head. Dude, people don't... You don't have a shovel head. You've never ridden a shovel head. It's a whole different experience.
Oh, you're missing out, man.
Yeah.
The torque, all of it. You know, top speed might be 58 miles an hour, but
yeah, and it feels like it's gonna vibrate apart between your legs. But hey, that's it.
Because the downside to a Sturgis is with the belt drives.
Oh, that's right.
You can't really change the gear ratio.
Right.
So you're kind of and those things were made when like even interstate speed limits were like 55, 65.
Right. Yep.
So I mean that bike will pull a tree stump out of the ground.
Yep.
But it won't do 80 miles an hour.
Nope, the electric car's going to pass you. The little mini car's going to pass you going down the freeway.
But, dude, I smile every time I ride it. Just the sound, the feel of a shovel. I love those things.
Yeah, mad respect for that. Mad respect. I've always said, like, you know, people getting into wanting to ride Harleys and, you know, I think if you ride them, you should wrench on them. You should learn how to wrench on them and everything. And I tell people, you want to learn how to ride Harleys and you want to learn about Harleys, you should own a shovel head first.
Oh, yeah.
It teach you so much respect for a motorcycle. It's not even funny.
Oh, dude. So when I was first, then I'm jumping way ahead here, but when I was first in like a dealership service department, it was like 2005, 2006, and the customer base was a little different during all of that. And I used to always like joke with the mechanics. I was like, anybody that comes in and buys a brand new Harley should have to ride an Ironhead Sportster for a year before they do.
Yep, that's right up right. Yeah, exactly. 100%. So you were that was beyond, you wouldn't take, when you started the dealership, you wouldn't take shovel heads still. It was still, they didn't still take them, did they?
So
for service?
It was dealership to dealership. So when I first started in a dealership, it was down when Albany, Oregon still had a dealership.
Oh, okay.
And that place was like the Wild West, man. Like anything went down there. So the service department was constantly turning people over.
Right.
So they didn't really have
Not any
rules.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I would take shovels in and work on them just because I knew them a little bit.
Right.
And but yeah, most dealerships won't. And as things progressed on, even they stopped working on them. But
Wow.
yeah, it's I don't know. I love
Crazy.
them.
That
First
sounds
bike, it's what I
beautiful.
learned to work on. It's what I learned to ride on. It's
Yep. They teach you a lot.
and there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of parts for them.
Yeah.
I mean, shovels have been around long enough that dudes were building pro street bikes out of them.
Right.
Dudes have built choppers out of them. Like,
Yep. Just about
Shovel's
everything.
seen it all. A Shovel's done it all.
So you get the bike. You got the bike. You're 20. You're riding it everywhere. And this is in Colorado. Where do we go from there? You do the college thing now, and you're take me through that. Give me a little. We've been friends for quite a long time, and I've never really heard your story. This is perfect. Get all the nitty gritty here.
So my degree is actually in kinesiology,
Okay, what the hell is that?
basically exercise science.
No shit.
Yeah, so I was a strength and conditioning coach for a college volleyball team.
Wild.
And I was doing like the exercise physiology thing.
Okay.
And so I go down to South Florida because if you're going to be in the fitness business, you're going to be a personal trainer.
That's where it's
Why
at.
not go to Palm Beach? You know?
Okay, I see that.
And again, at this point, I'm like, dude, what was I, 22? And I'm in South Florida.
God.
And I get down there and I get my bike down there. So it's funny. At first, I didn't have my bike down there.
Right. You're going crazy probably.
Yeah, I'm like driving this truck, and I'm like, I live somewhere where I can ride 365,
Yeah.
and I don't have my bike. So I've got this really nice Dodge 4x4 pickup that I
Right.
had in Colorado. It was perfect there, but honestly, in South Florida, it was kind of sucked because like traffic's bad, like gas is horrible, and so my dad has this like little kick around Ford Ranger. And I'm just like, I need to get my bike down here, but I don't know how to do it.
Right.
So I come up with this plan. I'm like, I'll tell my dad, I'll trade him
Oh my God.
my Dodge for that Ranger while I'm here. Because at the time, I'm thinking it's all temporary. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just here for a little while, check it out, you know, see a different part of the world, and then I'll probably end up back in Colorado. So my brother and his buddy that we went to school with throw my shovel in the back of this Ranger, and they rally from Colorado to South Florida. Oh yeah, dude,
That's
just road
awesome.
tripping it. And
shit.
so they bring my bike and a Ford Ranger down to Florida, and then go back in my. We hit up Bike Week while they were down here
Oh, sweet.
in Daytona, and then they drove back to Colorado. And obviously, I never moved back to Colorado, but I'm in
Yep.
South Florida with my bike now, so
Dude.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Like that's it. And I was even down there for a while where that was all my only transportation was my bike.
Perfect.
Like it was
Perfect.
awesome.
Right.
And I got it down there, and of course it needed some like going from 9,000 feet in elevation down to sea level.
Right.
It was running kind of crappy,
Yeah.
and the heat and the humidity was messing with it. Well, at this point, I know nothing about like really working on them. Like,
Right. Yeah.
tuning
There's a
carburetors,
levels
timing.
of
Like I don't know any of that. So I ended up taking it to this shop called Red Racing, and it was a really cool spot. The full name of it was actually Red Racing Harleys Only.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
That's cool.
And the red was the original owners. It was an acronym for his initials.
Right.
It was Robert E. Davis, I think, was his
No
name.
way.
Yeah. So I take it in there, and super cool guys, and I just start talking to them.
Right.
And next thing you know, I'm like hitting them up. I'm like, well, you know, I'm kind of mechanical. Like I love these things because at this point I'm hooked. Like all I can think about, I go to work just to make money, and then the rest of my
For
time,
gas money.
all I'm thinking about is my bike.
Yeah.
But I don't know. At that point, I didn't know what I didn't know, but I didn't know much.
Right.
So they throw this big open house barbecue, and I end up going, and it's a blast. They got live band. There's tons of people. South Florida, hot chicks everywhere. All the beer, the barbecue, and on the spot, they're like, "Yeah, just come back Tuesday, and we'll." I don't remember, man. It was like $8 or $9. They're like, "We'll pay you $8 or $9, and you can come hang out." and a couple hours a week, whatever.
Oh, no shit.
And I was just going to be like a shop hand, sweep
Right.
up, help the mechanics here or there, organize the shop, like, go pick up bikes for them, stuff like that. And looking back, like, I was so fortunate that I got a chance to get into that shop because, again, never working in one before, I didn't realize most aftermarket shops don't have a dyno. They had a dyno. They just got it because that was kind of a new thing.
Right.
Then.
Yeah.
This
that
is like
really,
2003, 2004.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So they just got a dyno. Again, this is the chopper boom. This is the biker build-off days.
Right.
They're right across the street from the Horse Magazine offices.
No way.
Yeah. So I actually worked on the editor of the Horse Magazine's bike for the for a biker build-off down there.
No shit.
He was right there. Again, I'm just like, wow, working in this business is cool. I didn't appreciate this opportunity.
The horse was badass.
Yeah. So they had a full machine shop too.
Really?
Yeah. So Tommy was one of the owners, and actually he's still on Instagram. It's still under Red Racing, but he's, for my money right now, he's probably one of the best shovelhead or Evo builders in the country.
No shit. I definitely got to look him up.
He builds some really wild stuff, and because he's a machinist and has the equipment and capabilities, he does it all in-house, but he's got some style to what he does. You know? He'll build up an Evo or a shovel. It's high horsepower, runs great, but it also looks super cool and trick.
Shit. Huh.
Yeah. So that was the first shop I worked in. And most of what I did was get in their way or mess stuff up.
But you're living the life now. Now you're getting paid to work on motorcycles, right?
I'm learning. And it really showed me I didn't know as much as I thought I did.
Right.
But they would let me hang out off hours, Tommy, the first ever horse build-off that they did for the smokeout.
Yeah.
Our shop was one of the bikes that was in it. Yeah.
Dude, I have stacks of those from that vintage somewhere. I got to find that box of those.
I'll bet you that bike is in there if you've got it from that.
Yeah, I got to find those.
Then. But so Tommy would let me, I got to hang out in the engine room while he was building that. Because, again, this shop was legit. They had a specific engine room. Had a clean parts washer just for reassembly.
Dude, you got the full experience.
Yeah. And again, looking back, I'm just like, I did not appreciate how great this was for me at that time. And,
that's crazy.
I mean, I've been in 2 different dealerships, and neither of them had the shop set up that these guys had. Not even close.
Wow.
And so it was super cool, but then I realized, the way I learn and what I know right now, I'm not going to be able to figure this out and be efficient anytime soon. I need to go to school.
Okay.
So my brother and I he moved down to Daytona. I moved up to Daytona, and we got an apartment and went to AMI, American Motorcycle
You guys went
Institute.
together?
He was a class ahead of me.
Oh, no
shit. He got there 5 weeks before me.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, so we went to motorcycle tech school together.
Really? Yeah. I did not know. Another thing I didn't know about you guys. That's freaking awesome. I was going to ask, obviously your brother got the bug in the whole thing too. So you guys went to school together.
Yeah.
Huh.
And again, so I was 5 when my dad got his Harley and we were riding on it. So that would make Ryan 8, 9.
Right.
Same thing. I mean, it never left him. He loved riding, and the bike part of it never left him either. So
what an epic upbringing, man. That's fuck. I can only dream. I mean, whatever. I got into him. But goddamn, that's awesome.
How did you get into it?
How did I get into it? Fuck, man. TV. Harley-Davidson, the Marlboro Man, dude. I mean, shit like that. Because nobody. It's funny. Last podcast we did with Patrick from Metier, we were talking about that, and literally he was saying how he was the first person in his line kind of to ride motorcycle. I'm the same way. Yeah. My parents rode an XS 650 from here in Oregon to Maine, down to Florida, and back on one bike.
Dude.
Right?
On a 650?
Yes. I have pictures to prove it, and my dad gave me the pictures, and I always just had those, and I still have them to this day, and I just always thought motorcycles are so cool. He said as soon as he got home from that trip, he sold it and never touched another motorcycle. Never really had them. Had some dirt bikes when we were kids and stuff, but nobody rode on the street. Nobody rode Harleys, nothing around me.
Yeah.
Even when throughout my life, I was doing a rodeo and riding. I rode dirt bikes and raced single track and did a lot of the enduro shit, but never touched a Harley, never looked at a Harley, rode street bikes, and then I met Jim. And I started working with Jim, and God, I wish he was here. Sorry. Met him, and he's what lit the spark for Harleys for me.
No way.
Yep. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I used to make so much fun of me because I'd pull into work on my crotch rocket. He'd be kicking his shovel head, but I'd never had that. Oh, look at that piece. It was always like caught my interest, but I never let him know.
Well, you couldn't put him over, man. You couldn't let him know he was winning.
No, because for the people listening, the guy we're talking about, I worked with him. His name was Jim, and he passed away a couple years ago unexpectedly. But the dude I called him the shovelhead guru, and the dude knew just about everything you need to know about a shovelhead, and he taught me everything, helped me build my first shovelhead and everything. And Mark knew him pretty well. And
he was a legit factory trained tech back in those days.
Exactly.
He was a line mechanic on Harleys back then.
So crazy.
Yeah.
So he was the one that got me into Harleys.
Yeah.
So
funny story. You brought up Harley-Davidson and the Marlboro Man. Obviously, like the way I was raised, like that movie was up there.
You're living that life, bro.
I'm like, this is amazing. So the shop I work at, Red Racing down in Florida, they have this big party. My first day is like their next day open after that party. It's like the party was a Saturday. They opened up on Tuesday. I was there. So the first thing, obviously, I got to clean up the party. And they had this really small showroom with like 6 or 8 bikes. They wanted to get that reorganized, and then they wanted to get the next bikes up on the lifts for their techs, for their mechanics. And they used to always be like, we're not techs, we're mechanics. So got to catch myself, man. Like mechanic.
Right, yeah.
So first thing I do, I go into the showroom. And back then, this is the boom. Dude, choppers are selling for $70,000.
Yeah,
and
you got the Jesse James thing going on. You got all those big guys going on.
That's what their showroom was like 5 or 6, and most of them were consignment, but some of them were house builds they were selling.
Right.
It's like 5 or 6 high-end choppers. And the dude looks at me and he's like, I don't care if you set on them. I don't care if you push them from the front. I don't care if you stand by it, as long as you don't drop it.
Oh, God.
So I'm like, okay. So I'm tiptoeing these things, and I was setting on them and like, but then I go in, and the first bike they tell me to put on a lift.
Yeah.
Harley-Davidson and the Marlboro Man.
No way.
Black Death.
Shut up.
So it wasn't like Mickey Rourke's but it was one of the movie bikes.
Really?
Apparently there's like 2 or 3 of these things.
No way.
Yeah, a dude that owned a bunch of nightclubs in Boca Raton owned one of the Black Deaths from that movie. So my first day, I pushed that bike up on the lift. And of course,
badass. If you don't know what that bike is in that movie is, you need to look it up.
Oh, yeah. If you've never seen Harley-Davidson and the Marlboro Man, do yourself a solid. I think it's on Amazon right now.
It is.
Like, last chick that I dated, I was like, you've never heard of that movie?
No, are you insane?
Guess what we're doing tonight?
Yep.
Like, yeah,
date night.
Go watch Harley-Davidson and the Marlboro Man. You'll thank yourself later.
Exactly.
Even if you just get a good laugh out of it.
Oh, yeah. That's,
you know, so I'm like pumped. I can't believe it. And of course, this isn't no cell phones. Like I still got the Nokia brick back then.
Oh, yeah.
You know? No pictures, nothing. But yeah, that bike, one of those bikes was actually there.
Huh.
It was super cool.
Wild. Okay.
Only thing he had changed on it, he put a thunder header on it.
All right.
I was at the time. I was like, what do you do to that thing? Now I'm like, it was an Evo.
Yeah, it needed it. It needed it. Yep. Nice. So you go to school, AMI, you said, right, with your brother, and then you're still in Florida. Now what?
Daytona was like where. Oh, God, you know, the Florida stories. Yeah. Like, that's where my Florida stories came from, were Daytona. Like, I was living it up there.
If you haven't been to Daytona, you need to go there, too.
And when you live there, you don't realize, or when you don't live there, you don't realize, like, Daytona Bike Week, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yep.
Like, spring break.
I
always thought, like, spring break's like a week.
No,
every part of the nation
has a different week.
Yeah, so spring break was like 5 weeks long, and all that stuff is back to back. So it was like speed week, bike week, spring break.
What year were you there?
I think by the time I got to Daytona, it was 04, 05.
when you first went down there, backing up a little bit, was it like 01 maybe?
When I first went down to Florida,
2000.
it was like 2, 3 maybe.
Really? And you were in Southern Florida?
Yeah.
How old were you then? 20?
20? No, I was 22 because I graduated college.
We might have been there in the same time.
Oh,
I
really?
lived down there. I lived on South Beach for like 6 months.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, in 2000, 2001.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I was probably there after you.
Okay.
But, that's wild, man.
Yeah, but Daytona, all the it just as soon as you start talking about it, I'm like, oh, I remember that. Oh yeah.
No, Daytona was a lot of fun. Like Ryan ended up staying there, and he got a job at a bike shop, and he stayed there for a couple years after we graduated. There's no way I could have.
No.
Dude, I just was too much trouble down there.
Too much trouble,
like,
right.
All I did, because that's one of the times where that bike was about the only transportation I had. Like, all I did was ride down to Beach Street, drink beer, and chase chicks. Like, that was it. And
living the life.
yeah,
Living the
you
life.
know, and for a 23, 24-year-old, like, that was...
Dude, that's epic.
That was as good
that's
as it got.
Nice. So you got out of there. Where did it take you from there?
That's what brought me to Oregon.
All the way from Florida to Oregon.
Yeah. So
you know anybody or tell me. Yeah.
Well, no. So it's a funny story. So back up when I'm in college, I get this roommate whose family like lives down in Corvallis.
Okay.
So again, I have all these like weird Jack Kerouac type stories where I'm just like, so I jumped on a plane and I ended up in Oregon
and just here's my life.
So I'm in Corvallis. I think I was 21. And I just came out here for a week. Like, had a little bit extra time, few extra bucks. My roommate was here with her parents through the summer. So I came out here, and I spent a week here, and it was like July, of course, so it's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. You're like,
we went out to the coast. Nice. Like, I'm seeing all these highways, and I was like, this place is pretty sweet.
I could ride here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So on the way back up to the airport, we happened to stop at this little dealership in Albany.
Right.
And I got a hat, flew back to Colorado, whatever. So when I graduated from Daytona, I put applications in all over the country. I don't care. I'll go wherever the work is.
Right.
And I remembered that little dealership, so I sent an application out there. And we were still in the chopper boom. So most of what I was sending out to like aftermarket bike builders and
right,
stuff.
Not dealership, right? Because that's your niche right now.
Yeah.
So
that dealership ended up offering me a job, and it paid like 50 cents an hour more than another one. I think it was in Colorado that I was going to go to.
Oh, shit.
So 50 cents an hour. I'm like, I guess I'm going to
All
Oregon.
right, let's go.
Yeah, dude. So I loaded up, and that would have been 2005. I loaded up, put everything in a truck, came this way, and the trip is I left when Hurricane Katrina was starting.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I left South Florida, and I just remember it so well because my original plan was to go through New Orleans and come up that way. And literally, like the day I left, because I was supposed to be like 2 days ahead of the hurricane.
Right.
And the day I left, I was like, I don't know, man. It might be a mess. People leaving town. Like, I don't want to mess with that. So I went up north further and then cut across. The hurricane ends up making landfall earlier than they projected.
Oh, no.
I would have been caught in New Orleans during the hurricane.
Can you imagine?
Dude. And again, I know nobody. I don't even have a cell phone at this point. Like, it would have been horrible.
Oh, man.
I always tell people, like, I would have been the dude blasting out of town on a shovel head with everything I own left in the street. Like, all my shit,
absolutely.
I don't need it.
Yep, as long as I got my shovel.
Yeah.
As long as I got my shovel. So that's what brought, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
So that's how I ended up in Oregon.
Crazy. And you were at that dealership for...
Like I said, that place was a trip. I always say
I've heard
it was
stories.
like the Wild West.
Yeah, I've heard
like,
some stories.
That place was insane. And it was just a free-for-all. Like, so I was there for a couple years and started out as a mechanic. I was working on bikes. Like, I'm loving life, man. It's great. And then that's where I started getting into like the management side. It was funny because I didn't want to give up my lift, so I would try to do both.
Oh, jeez.
And I would like be working on bikes while I'm scheduling the guys, and like,
oh god,
I did a lot of work at home at night, just as far as like the administrative stuff, and I was really scared to give up the lift. I didn't want to, but that's where I first started getting into like the management side.
Okay.
I was there for a couple years, and then I had a really good rep from Harley. He was a service rep that I was really good friends with. And he ended up cluing me in that Salem
Right.
had an opening. And even Harley ended up eventually shutting down that dealership in Albany. Like they bought them out and closed it.
Really? Just because it was such
that
a shit
place
show?
that place was so
Wow.
nuts. And
Wow.
so Harley knew it was not the greatest place. And my rep was a really good dude. So he was like, hey, the Salem dealership is looking for a service manager. If
Oh,
you want to
wow.
go up
Okay.
there. So that was actually how I ended up
In Salem,
at Salem
because
Harley.
of that. Wow.
Yeah,
Was
and
it Walkers at the time?
No, it was Salem Harley,
was
but it had
Salem
only
Harley.
been for about a year.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, that was 2008 that I started
Okay.
at Salem Harley.
2008. Wow.
Yeah.
So you were there for what?
Yeah, so I started at the dealership in Albany in 2005. 2008 started at Salem Harley, and then I left in 2021.
Wow. Wow. And you moved up to GM, right? You were
Yeah,
GM,
I was running the store
for
by the time I left.
right. For what? Probably 12, 13 years you were GM?
Yeah, I became the GM 2011.
Okay.
10, 11. So
Yep.
yeah, I was 10, 11 years. It feels good to know that I had an impact on the community here.
You did, and you still do to this day, Mark.
When my
You do.
time there was done, that people were like, he did it right. That means a lot to me.
I still hear it from lots of people.
Yeah.
So it's good and good on you. Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. And
Yeah.
I say always, everything, the toy drive, the Cherry City Classic.
Right.
I cannot do anything if the community doesn't get behind it.
100%.
You've
Absolutely.
seen a lot, you've
Yep.
done a lot, and if the community isn't willing to back you, you won't get anywhere.
No, you're not getting anywhere at all.
And honestly, if the community's not willing to back you, there's usually a pretty good reason.
Yeah.
So,
It never pays to be an asshole. Let's just put it that way. Period. The end. Why not be nice to people and just, be a good person? Yeah. So, okay. So you did the GM thing. What are you doing now?
anything and everything.
Are you
man.
retired already?
No. That's kind of like the rumor, I think, that goes
Right,
around there.
right.
But no, I'm not. I work for myself, and there's a lot that I do. I do a lot of marketing and events type stuff.
Okay.
But the event side of it is really what, I don't know, it's what I feel the best about right now is like being a part of these events. One of the things I try to do, is promote and push all the shows. Like,
Yes,
I go to
100%.
these shows, everybody's putting on some great stuff. You kind of started it with Pac West, just as far as these shows coming around, and I'm happy to see that. There's more stuff to do. There's more stuff going on.
When you do it, like you said, for the people,
Yeah.
you do it for the community. That's, what better? Like you said, you don't have the community, you don't have a show, and it's just to see the smile on people's faces, and you get the people that come up and thank you for doing this. It's like, doing what? I'm just doing what I love. So,
Well, and again, because it's funny, a lot of people don't realize when you work in a dealership, especially at the level that I had gotten to, you become really disconnected from the community.
right.
And, I always you go to the bank and they're like, oh, you work for Harley-Davidson? That must be so fun. Like everybody thinks we just sat around and drank beer and talked
And rode
bikes.
Harleys. Yeah.
The reality is I spent more time looking at spreadsheets than I did bikes. And that was a problem for me.
Right.
I'm not built to be in conference calls all day.
No. No, thank you.
So for me, I love that stuff because it gets me back out into the part of the
Right.
bike industry that I want to be in.
Right.
I'm with people that think like me. I'm with people that like the same things as me.
Is that part? Sorry to cut you off.
No.
Is that you don't have to. Whatever. Is that the reason you decided to leave the dealership, or was it just you burn out? Period. The end, or is it just you were ready for something new, or do more of the event kind of stuff, or
all of the above?
all the above?
Man.
Right.
So
I could see it. Yeah.
Reality is I was pretty burned out. We had pushed really hard for a long time.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize it, but that dealership was very successful, and we were cranking out a lot of bikes.
Right.
We were right up there with the big boys everywhere when we put up that second building and started becoming focused on used bikes.
Right.
We were selling as many new and used bikes as a lot of dealerships that are giant. People didn't realize Salem Harley was one of the highest performing dealers in the country.
Wow.
But that took a lot.
Oh, it's a
And
lot
it took
of work
a lot
and
of sacrifice.
A lot of sacrifice, a lot of your own time, and a lot of
yeah. So I was pretty burned out, and like I said, the toy run, it brought me
Right.
back a lot of the joy. It brought me back a lot of that community feeling. But it was just on and on. And I mean, by the last year that I was at the dealership, I didn't do anything but lead the ride for the toy run.
Wow.
Like I gave them the budget, and I was like,
Right.
this is what we can do. And I had this great assistant named Laura who really like got involved with that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
Laura.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Laura and one of my volunteers, Heather, like basically spearheaded it the last year that I was still with the dealership.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And, it is what it is. To me, the event being successful was more important than me being heavily involved in it. And
Right.
it's always been that way.
Yep.
But I didn't like that. I didn't like that. Like
You couldn't be involved in your own event that you came up with.
Like
Yeah.
my baby. I want to be involved in that, and it's important to me.
Right.
So that, and
Corporate.
at the end of the day, dude,
Yeah.
there were mornings I was waking up and I dreaded putting my feet on the ground because it meant I had to eat breakfast and go to work.
Yep.
And that's not a place I want to live.
Nope. Nope. It does. Yeah. I've always Yeah. Yeah. If you ain't happy where you're at, go somewhere else, man. Don't make yourself. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I didn't really have a backup plan, and we were in the middle of COVID at the time, and a lot of people don't realize we had our biggest years during COVID. Like it got
Really?
busier than ever. So I'm like I'm burned out, but I'm working harder and putting in more hours than I ever have before.
Right.
Because it's just booming. And it just, the year ended and it felt like it was a good time for me to walk away. So my plan was I was going to walk away and I wasn't going to go back into the bike business at all. Like I wanted to ride. I wanted to
Right.
still bikes will always be a part of my
Oh,
life.
100%. Right.
But I didn't want to work in that industry. I wanted it to be separate because at the time I didn't see a way that I could still enjoy it, could
And
still be part of the community, and could work in it.
I can totally see that. I mean, that's literally like we were talking about before we started the show about how I was trying to wrench on bikes here, and it didn't become enjoyable because I never got to go ride.
Yeah.
So I totally feel you on that on a different level, but yeah.
Well, and even from that though, even if things go right, like it can create strain. You can create issues with people that you want to be your friends or that you are friends with.
Yeah, but you can't mix business and pleasure.
Yeah,
you just can't.
And that was always something else that I didn't like about being in the dealership, especially at the level I got to, is it created a lot of like not tense but awkward situations where it's like I got to be loyal to the company.
I can't be your bro at the same time. Yeah,
sorry, man. And being able to step away from the dealership, like I've been a lot more open. Part of the problem was I was so afraid of that I wouldn't open up enough and be like, yeah, let's go ride. Yeah, I want to do this.
Right.
And then part of it was just I had no time. Like I would ride back and forth to work, and then I led the dealer rides.
And that's it.
That was it.
Yeah. That ain't a way to live.
Yeah. So I walked away and I was like, all right, I need to step away for like 6 months, and I need to take that 6 months and figure out what I want to do, start a new career, get into something totally different.
Cool.
All paths just kept leading me back to motorcycles, man.
I love it. I love it. So you leave there, and then how did the for everybody that doesn't know, Mark not only does the Salem Toy Run, but he also puts on an amazing indoor, what'd you call wintertime show? Wintertime,
early spring,
early
late
spring.
winter.
Yeah, Cherry City Classic. If you haven't been, you need to go. It's amazing.
Thank you.
So how did that all come about?
I'd been wanting to do something like that for years, and like I said with the toy run, when I was still with Harley, I was trying to incorporate passion projects into what I was doing, but I still, I try to be up and up on everything. I had partners with Harley, so everything I did had to legitimately be for the business. And I kept trying to figure out how to do this and still, tie in the business, and it just didn't work. Like I can't host that event at the dealership. The vibe's totally different. Obviously the venue is different. So that's how long I'd been like sort of simmering on that show. Was 2017 is probably when I first started seriously thinking, this is what I would like to do. This is what it could be. And then when I left the dealership 2021, I started making some phone calls and started looking into it. And, you know, in a way, it was a blessing that I ended up delaying it a couple years of just kind of things didn't feel right. Didn't seem like the right time. Obviously, I was a little nervous about it.
I feel that.
And then I finally kicked it off. And like I said, in some ways, I'm pretty thankful that I had that extra couple years to think it through a little bit more, because I don't know that it would be what it is now. But in another way, like, this would be year 5, and I wish that I would have just...
Is this year 5 already?
No, this is year 3.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, okay.
It would have been year 5 if I kicked it off.
I was going to say, God dang, time really goes by fast.
So I go back and forth on that. But at the end of the day, I did end up waiting and, you know, ended up running it. But again... Bikes and community are what have pulled me in all along. Yep. We do a lot of charity stuff tied to that, which is also important to me. So it was like just all these pieces kind of fit together.
That's awesome.
You know?
I love it. I love it because, well, not only it's right down the street, it's still, and I can attest to this, and I have sworn to myself that I will keep my show, and I'm not putting any other shows down, but you see these shows and being in the community for all these years and going to all these bigger shows, and they keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and they become more and more and more corporate. And I know it's the nature of the beast, but I don't want that for my show. And I'm sure you don't want that for your show either. You know, it's still, you know, you want more people to come, but you want to keep that still that homegrown community feel to it.
Part of why I will get behind all these other shows is because they all have a personality.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't want to go all over the Northwest to the same show.
Right.
I love, like, part of it for me is I love the ride. That's the part of it that's kind of shocked me is I love the ride. And then when I get there, I want to go to a show that's unique. I want to get to something that, you know, me and my buddies can hang out at and have a good time.
Right.
But each one is a little bit different.
A little bit different, yeah.
Different bikes, maybe different people. The cool thing is a lot of the same people are there. So you do, like, I have friends that I only see at these shows.
100%. That's, yep.
So that part of it is cool. But, yeah, I'm with you, man. I think each one should have its own personality, kind of its own flavor. A lot of them even have, like, its own style of bike. Like, it's, even if it's a chopper show here versus a chopper show
on the East Coast or wherever,
the flavor might be a little bit different,
right?
But it's I don't know. They're all just, I love the shows. They're super cool.
It's awesome. That was my thing. Like when I was trying to think about doing my show, I would go to all these other shows and pick what I liked and what I didn't like. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and notice things. Like, my biggest thing is, like, as weird as that, flow. I want to have a good flow. It's got to flow. You walk into it, everything's got to work. And, you know, I went to one show that was not the one show, but I went to a smaller show in another state, and I was walking around. I was like, there's no garbage cans. You can't not have garbage cans. Yeah. Like, I don't know if I'm weird like that, but you know what I mean? Like, after putting on my own show, it's like, oh, you don't have, no, this doesn't flow like, I don't know. I'm weird like that, but
no, but it's details like that make a huge difference,
right?
And you know, like I said, I do a lot with other events and things that aren't even necessarily motorcycle related, and it blows my mind how many people like look past those details.
Yeah,
I was at one time. There was like a multi-story, multi-building. There was no signage. There was no like I saw about 25% of it, and I was like.
You had no idea that there's 3 more levels ahead of you?
I think I'm going to get out of here.
Yeah.
And then somebody was like, oh, have you been over here?
Right.
How many people came in there and were like, this is it?
Yeah, and had no idea.
Nobody came and told them there was more, and they left.
Yeah.
So, like, that stuff's important, man.
That's like Mama Tried. Have you been to Mama Tried?
No.
Oh, dude. If you're a show goer, I can't believe you've been in the industry this long and you've never been to Mama Tried.
So the first year of my show was the year I was supposed to go.
Right.
But it was 5 days. It was the week before my show.
Oh, that's right, because it lands. Oh, man.
Yeah.
But that reminds me, because you go into that building, and if you walked in, you'd be exactly, it's been around long enough that everybody knows you go up, but like you walk in and you're like, this is it? And then you go, but there's like 4 floors of it. It's wild.
Yeah.
So, Man, we could talk for hours about this show stuff. I've been to so many, and I'm sure you have too, and just tell stories over and over and over again. What do you think about coming back for a part 2 sometime?
Oh, I would love to.
Yeah?
Man, if you want to have me back, I'm happy to come
Absolutely.
back.
Maybe we do it like after the Cherry City Classic that's coming up. What's the dates again?
March 21st, 22nd.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Well, maybe we recap after that and have some more stories to tell.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Cool, man. I really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, man. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having me.